There we are. Boom. Gonna give it a few moments. We're gonna sort of allow this strange wireless signal to work its way through, I don't know how many or more wires and passageways and I don't know, man, Wi-Fi signals and probably across the Atlantic Ocean and the Pacific Ocean based on where you are in the world. This frequency is somehow making it all over the world, usually with the help of the modern day internet. But anyway, hello everyone. Greetings, greetings. This I have a weird feeling this might be maybe the shortest, most awkward live stream I do of the year. Who knows? Maybe not. We have no idea what to expect today. I'll tell you why in a moment. But yes, thank you for joining us. Hello everyone. Greetings to those of you guys out there in the internet world. Hello Cheryl, Soul Schooling, Miss Liz. Good to see you. She says new Palo Santo stick started. Whoa. That's a hard one. Yeah, totally. We are back on the Palo Santo train. I like after they get down to like about that much, I kind of just throw them in this weird ashtray thing, which is awkward because I have all these little pieces of it. But anyway, then you sort of like break them up and sort of use them in other ways. But anyway, yeah. So we are back once again. Hey, I think it's been about a week or so since we came in here last time. We had some fun commentary about, I don't know, a couple random weird things going on in the world, all of which are still equally just uncertain as of this very day. But hello, everyone. Hello, Divine Fractal. Good to see your face once again, or your screen presence once again. But yeah, come on in, everybody. And so this is, I think we're gonna call this live Master Cleanse 2022 edition. I don't always put like any of the stuff that I'm doing necessarily in descriptions for things, but earlier I did this post and it was like, we're in the midst of a fast. Correction, we're actually in the midst of one of the Master Cleanse journeys. For those of you guys that have done, I guess there's many versions of the Master Cleanse now. It's like, essentially it's the sort of lemonade water cleanse or the sort of, the 10 days of pure liquid. And so I haven't done, I think last time I did this was in actually 2020 was the last year where I did like a dedicated kind of like multi-day journey without eating solid food and just, existing on liquid and kind of purging everything. So it has been a while. I mean, granted, I did have, the so-called, or I think it was, the viral madness that we will not name. I did have that at the end of 2021, which was kind of like a cleanse in and of itself. Pretty much everything that was within me came out. But we are in the official second 24-hour chunk of our Master Cleanse 2022. Just in case, for those of you guys who don't know, what is the Master Cleanse? It's basically a 10-day process. You can go a lot longer than 10 days, but what you do is you just basically drink these bottles of its lemons, grade B maple syrup, cayenne pepper, and water. And you'll just kind of go through that journey for about 10 to 12 days. I think back in 2017, I did like a 21-day journey on it, which was actually incredibly restorative. Very, very difficult, but incredibly restorative. And so both me and Annora are in the midst of that. We're in the second day, which for those of you guys, for anyone out there that's done like fasting or sort of like just, like a pure liquid cleanse or any of those things, a lot of you guys will know second and third day are like the really hard ones. I mean, there's other points during the journey where if you don't maintain yourself, it also gets hard. But yeah, like there's like a weird hump that we go through on like the second and third day. So maybe it's actually good that I'm doing this live here today because it'll sort of keep us on the track. But anyway, so what is our journey here today? Really, really not that much, to be quite honest with you. Hopefully, I think if I can keep my energy up, if you guys ask me some really weird and cool questions, it'll sort of keep the energy flowing, and then we'll probably do some readings. But the main real reason why we're here today is a little bit of a promotional, sort of another round of shameless self-promotion. The reason why is because we're doing a very, very cool event. It's coming up this Saturday. for those of you guys, and hopefully in the future it'll be coming up again, but a lot of you guys have been within our Blue Flame Collective Patreon group, are going to be familiar with my wife Annora by now. If you have met us at a event, you will definitely be familiar with Annora. But if you only watch me on YouTube, I think she's got one video on here. Maybe it might be somewhere buried within the, deep within the videos on this channel. But she's only appeared on social media one time. But man, people are summoning her from all over the world right now, quite literally from all over the world, and it has been blowing my mind. And so she's going to be leading our Patreon group this Saturday, July 16th at 4 p.m. Eastern. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to do a little bit of a short talk in the beginning, just a short little thing. And then Annora's going to be doing intuitive readings for whoever rolls in, which sometimes is a lot of people, sometimes it's just a few people, but whoever it is, we invite you guys to come hang out with us and kind of just see what's going on in the multi-dimensional realms in terms of just future placements and where your energy's going. She practices a really, really interesting, it's sort of like a hybrid mix of kind of astrology, astral cartography, and then her own kind of just weird internalized frequency that, to be totally honest with you, is completely out. It's just on a whole other level from, I think, even a lot of the stuff that I do. So at times I'm like, what? Really? Where did you know what I mean? People will come up with things. She will come up with stuff, and it literally blows my mind. And so for those of you guys that are interested, please do join us this Saturday, July. For some reason, I wanted to say September. I don't know what that means. Maybe that's me forecasting something in a weird way. But Saturday, July 16th at 4 p.m. Eastern. Oh, cool. Whoa. Thanks, Liz. Thanks, Miss Liz. On it once again. You guys can find us at this link. It's $10 for registration, and don't worry, I'm not one of those people, you guys, because I know every time someone pulls out like a Patreon link, you get this idea that it's like, oh yeah, you're gonna like subscribe to me and stay with us on this journey. And the reality is, it's totally cool. You can come in, you can pay $10 one time, you can get a reading, and you can bounce. Trust me, I'm not gonna be offended. It's totally cool. A lot of people do. You can roll in and sort of have this experience and then bounce. No hard feelings. But the reason why we do it that way is, number one, because it's completely private. It's an uncensored environment. It's a much smaller group. And there is a tremendous amount of value and also kind of just group activation that occurs within what we've been doing in this Patreon group. Somehow, a lot of you guys have heard me say this a million times already. I don't know how that we have lasted, but we have made it nearly 2 years. And so we're coming up on the 2-year mark in a few months, where we're going to do a really, really cool thing for that. But please do join us, for those of you guys that are interested. And yeah, it's coming up this Saturday. In the meantime, somebody had a question. Leyland, what's going on? How do you curb your hunger during the detox process? That is actually the thing. And that's actually, I would say this is the day, on day 2, almost day 3 actually, technically, but has been it's definitely a feeling that it has definitely been there all day long. And you guys, for some of you guys that are out there that are very energetically sensitive or like aware, you will pick up on a little, you could just feel like this sort of chemical imbalance like within my energy right now, because it's very like, it's like wavy and kind of not necessarily grounded. And I would say, how have I been dealing with the sort of hunger? Drinking tons of water. And honestly, I'm one of those people, I literally just keep pounding these. I'll just continue to drink lemonade. The thing is, it's not even lemonade. It's like barely even sweet, but it's a really useful way to kind of like restart and cause your body to purge. I would say that within the first day and a half, I noticed that when I went outside the next morning, it was like I just had a little bit more peripheral vision. And it's not like a really noticeable thing where you'll be like, oh my God, suddenly it's like I can see out of the corners of my eyes. It's really nothing like that. But it's, well, to be honest with you, it's an effect that takes place when you start clearing your liver. And what will happen is your eyes will clear up and even your peripheral vision will clear up when the liver starts to kind of go back down. One of the things that happens when the liver gets inflamed is people's eyes, it's a very strange thing, which kind of turns out in Chinese medicine, they say the liver rules the eyes. And it's odd because in my opinion, it's actually it's very, very true. Having had liver stuff in the past, that's one of the things I will usually notice. Like that'll kind of go down, and it's like I walked outside the other day, and I was like, "Whoa!" It's like there was just more light that was present, which is kind of a subject. It's a very subjective statement, but try it and see what happens. Try and see what happens. But anyway, so yeah, hunger is definitely a thing. And anyway, let me know if you guys have any other questions. I think we are going to pull a few cards before we roll out of here. The cool thing is we have we have just a few people with us today, so I think we're going to do readings for 3 people. So if you want, just hurry up, put your names on the list here. I'm going to do them because I can feel like this stamina level is kind of low, but yeah, we're going to do it. So if you're ready, put your name on the list. Thank you, Cheryl. How's it going? She says, it's been 2 years since I took one of your courses. Well, thank you for hanging out. Thanks for, even, oh yeah, Cheryl from Haven of Ascension. What's going on? Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Been 2 years. I wonder what course you took a couple of years ago. It was either, I would imagine it was probably the chakra class, possibly, but anyway, let us know which class was it. I think officially the sort of next round of class stuff we're going to do is going to be very meridian related. I think right now one of the things I'm kind of waiting on is timing as to when is the right time to launch and do that versus the next stage of our training program, which is odd because the more and more people continue to ask for it. And it's not as if people are like breaking down our door for this to happen, but it's been a constant, steady stream of people going, hey, when are you going to do this? When are you going to do this? I would say every week or so, people are asking for it. And I'm actually kind of pushing it more toward, I would say, the fall right now, and probably around September. And so there's going to be more like announcements around that time. But in the meantime, we're going to be focusing more primarily on kind of group stuff. And then honestly, the heart of what we do has been private sessions. And so Patreon, I think, is probably the #1 place to kind of take part in the group things that we are going to be doing for the next few months. But yeah, anyway, I don't know if that even answers the question. What's going on, Purple Dory? Dude, you're definitely here on a live, and you're here on the most like brain fogged live of the year so far. You might have heard me say it already. I'm doing the master cleanse, kind of multi-day fasting juice cleanse thing, and I'm totally in like the hunger brain fog day. So you guys can tell I'm like I'm at the 40% mark, like on the download bar, I'm like just before half. And so anyway, nice. Thank you, Hopeful Art. I got a slight gnawing feeling as I'm drooling on myself live on camera here. Nice. That was probably us. And so yeah, we're gonna do a couple of readings. Totally. Okay, I'm just gonna grab the first one. Hello, LVC73. I remember you from before. Thanks for rolling in. And so actually here, you guys are going to help. If you're out there hanging out and you want me to do more readings, kind of just take a moment, take a breath in, and send a little bit of energy our way. I can sort of feel the like, I can feel the wavy mania starting. So help us stay accurate and on target. And so we're going to start out with, we're just going to pull a card for LVC 73. You can also help this stream by sharing this video wherever you're at. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. In the meantime, let's take a few breaths together. For all those of you assisting LVC 73 and everyone else on this live stream that just needs a card here today that needs to receive this energy. What do we need to know? Boom. Whoa. Don't worry. We don't do reversals in the world of multidimensional tarot, but For LVC 73, and I always say this for anyone else that needs to receive this energy. Sometimes you're going to be really wanting a reading and you don't get one. Sometimes someone will describe an energy or a reading or just a, an energetic transaction, and you'll realize you're going through something similar. So this is also for whoever needs to receive it. LVC 73, though, specifically looking at you, you have the Six of Wands, which honestly is a very, very good sign. I wouldn't call it explosively good. I wouldn't call it like one of those win-win scenarios. What is it specifically? When you have a Six of Wands in your sort of current world right now, you guys, you have been given approval by spirit to do, to go, to be, to begin, to actually do a thing. Most of the time in the physical world, that's where you're going to encounter the energy of wands is going to be in your physical world. These are oftentimes the things we do with our hands. There are desires. They're the way we position ourselves and behave physically in the world. If it's ever about a trip and the wands roll in, it's usually involved in some sort of a physical activity of some kind. But getting back to the Six of Wands for LVC 73 and anyone else, when this rolls in, this is a symbol of approval. It gives you the authorization to go, to do, to become, to start. It is what I would kind of call a little bit of a time sensitive authorization from the perspective of, and this is where I get into the weird intricacies of how I read tarot, and especially with this, the Robin Wood tarot, you can see there's like a crowd cheering for you right here. You're usually about to do something, to go, to begin, or you're weighing like, should I even do this? And Six of Wands will roll in, and understand everyone's cheering for you, but they don't really hang out that long. It doesn't last that long. You could imagine if somebody threw a going away party for you as you launched yourself into a new thing or a journey or just a stage in your life. They would throw this going away party, and then you announce in the going away party, well, I'm not actually going. Everyone's gonna go, oh, okay, and kind of like the momentum will die. You know what I mean? I shouldn't say die. The momentum will go down. And so Six of Wands is what I would call spiritual approval for something in the physical realm, but it needs to maintain your momentum. And so it's usually going to be one of those strike while the iron is hot, take the chance now. And so I'm probably grossly overinterpreting this card for you, LVC 73, but somebody in your life has been giving you authorization to proceed. And I guess you need to hear about it. And so I hope that helps. Thanks, you guys. By the way, I definitely felt like the wave of energy kind of sort of rise up there. So thank you for those of you guys that took that breath with me and kind of helped the energy flow. And so I will say one of the things that I have noticed the most on day 2 of this cleanse is like incredible like mouth buildup. And for those of you guys that have done a detox before, you'll probably know what I'm talking about. But it's like your mouth becomes just very like chalky and like very, like the tongue gets all white. I think part of it has to do with candida. It's like a die-off process that takes place. So it's just like, very, very frothy. That's the word I was looking for, which is that's an awkward place to be. But anyway, who is after that? Who is after LVC 73? The first 3 people on our reading list. Oh yeah, cool. Number 2, Leyland. How's it going? Good to see you. Thanks for rolling through. And so we're going to pull a card for Leyland, and I guess anyone else that needs to receive this. I'm going to keep saying that. And I'm going to continue to drink water throughout this thing constantly. That awkward moment when you realize that's the thing that's like keeping you going. But anyway, for those of you assisting the mind body spirit complex known as Leyland, here we go. We're going to see it together. Boom. Leyland, what's going on? You got a 7 of Cups. Let's be real. This is really not a bad thing to have, you guys. The 7 of Cups is rarely ever a crisis in one's life. Yeah, it can be a cycle of indecision. It can be a chapter of your journey in which you might not know exactly what it is that you want right now. keep in mind that, there's many things possible for you, which for most people, they would consider that a pretty good place to be. But when you have a Seven of Cups, let's get real. You might be spread into too many areas of your life. You might be spread too thin. You might have too many versions of yourself concurrently existing. And maybe we could call it the physical or non-physical realms. And, we get lost in our thoughts. We get lost in our dreams. Every now and then we could even say you would get lost in the astral realms with something like a Seven of Cups. But there's really nothing wrong with it, and nothing really bad ever happens to people with Seven of Cups. At the very worst, you will never really receive all of what is actually due for you, which, depending on where you're at in life, that could be a really big deal. That's kind of the cost of Seven of Cups, is that they'll be spread too thin and they haven't necessarily chosen exactly what they want in the energy of the moment. Or maybe they have, and there's many things, and they've invested their energy into too many places. And so you can imagine with Seven of Cups, you can sip from every single one of these cups. For those of you guys that can see this, what do these cups symbolize? The many areas of your life, the many aspects of yourself, the many, places in which your energy is invested in the physical world. And Seven of Cups, usually, if there is an antidote for this, let's say if you are caught in a cycle of indecision, or, just wondering where to invest your energy, just know that Seven of Cups needs to choose one cup at a time, which for people that kind of stare into the symbolisms of Seven of Cups, most of us will eventually go, I wonder if that's what I'm called to do. It really is. You will focus on, you will generate simplicity of desire, focus your desires, and then just work with one cup at a time. That's the only way you're going to get all of what is out there in the current moment. But just know that there's a lot of possibilities for people that have this, and it's not necessarily always about being indecisive. It's kind of more about understanding the myriad of possibilities that are around you right now, and then investing yourself in the most appropriate one, because some of these can be very chaotic. For those of you guys that kind of resonate with the Seven of Cups, look, there's like a dragon in there, you know what I mean? There's a snake in one of them. There's the mask. What does the mask symbolize, you might wonder? Well, it's, something that's hidden in your world. Maybe you might not even know what it is. And, there's some gold. There's a number of symbolic elements of your journey, which, once again, it's not a bad thing to have, but it might be a good time to really concentrate your desires on specific things. And so that's for Leyland and anybody else that needs to kind of receive it. And so, who was after that? LMack, how's it going? What's up, LMack? Good to see you. Thanks. Oh, I did not intentionally click on your thing, but thank you. Thanks for rolling through. We're going to do a reading for LMack. See what's happening. Thank you to everyone out there lending your energy to this now moment. For those of you guys that are very kind of energetically sensitive, or even if you're not, and you're just starting to kind of mess with it, I shouldn't say mess with it, you're just starting to come into conscious awareness of your ability to read energy and to psychically pick up on the balance or the emotions or the thought forms or the energies of other people. For those of you guys that are out there, this live stream today with me is a really good kind of point to really analyze energy, because I'm a really good example of someone who has not eaten in over 2 days. And so I can feel the way it sort of works on my brain. And so anyway, I got to keep drinking water here. Otherwise, we're going to get weird. It was LMack, right? It was LMack. Oh, there you are. I see you at the bottom of the chat. Thank you. Okay. Those of you assisting LMack, and just anyone else that needs to receive this message in the now moment. Thank you, everyone. We're going to see it together, LMack. Here we go. Boom. Whoa. Okay. Well, here's the thing. This is the Page of Pentacles. Some of you guys out there are going to already know tarot, and so you're gonna have your own relationships with these cards and these energies. That's okay. One of the things I've kind of learned over the last few years is that I really did make up a lot of my own meanings on these, which is fun because, we just finished the second round. Or was it no, we did the third round. Oh my Lord. We did the third round of our multidimensional tarot class, ended in June. And so I want you to take it all with a grain of salt. That said, the Page of Pentacles, anytime you guys see a page in your readings, whether it's just the energy of the moment, whether you're wondering what chapter am I in my life, whether, you know, there's a myriad of situations in which the pages will roll in. And the fun thing is, no matter where a page shows up in your life, they're going to tell you a couple things that usually you really need to know. Number one, the pages are in a legitimate new beginning. And so for LMack or anyone else, look around in your life right now and look at your cycles of how you are manifesting things. And by manifesting, it could be anything from money, it could be to possessions, it could be to relationships. It's what you're manifesting, it's what you desire. That's one of the ways. There's many ways in which we describe the energy of pentacles, but it's usually what I call the currency of your desires, or the things that we physically need that keep us physically rooted in this world. And so when the Page of Pentacles rolls in, you're going to be in a new beginning in some area of that process, or that energy in your life. That's the first thing you recognize with the pages. Number two, is that you must begin to recognize your legitimacy when the new cycle begins for a lot of people. And right now, it probably might not even feel like a new cycle, because everyone's in a little bit, or maybe not everyone, but looking at the energy in the world, everything's in what we would call the economic downturn, or heading down to the lower part of that sort of cycle. And so depending on where you're at, you may or may not be feeling it, but this is a legitimate new beginning in which you must recognize your legitimacy. No one else is going to do it for you. That's one of the kind of the downfalls of a lot of the characters in the sort of hierarchy of the pentacles, is that they have to learn to self-start. They have to learn to recognize themselves. They have to learn to kind of generate things under their own steam, which is the hardest thing for them to do, because these are energies that want to stay safe, and they want to stay firmly planted, and they want to stay grounded. And so when the Page of Pentacles rolls in, understand you're in a new cycle. Recognize your legitimacy. Understand that at this stage of your life, even if you're not aware of it, you are in possession of something of great value. Even if you just go by the symbolism on the card, the Page of Pentacles holds something of great value, but is not always willing to put it to use in the way that is most appropriate for them. And so I would say, what do we do with the Page of Pentacles? We try to combat our resistance. Combat our resistance, or just work with what you're resistant to. Work with the things in your life where you're like, well, I'll never do that. A lot of us have that. You know what? No way. I'm not. What? No, I'll never do it. And then you really kind of step back and look at the thing that you'll never do and realize, like, I get why would I never do that? What was that even about? That's a thing that Page of Pentacles will do. They'll sort of revise conclusions at the beginning of a new chapter of their journey. And so just understand there's something of great value that you're holding on to in the now moment. You must recognize it within yourself, and then create a movement within yourself, a beginning of a whole new chapter. And so that was a fun one. I hope that made sense. Thank you, LMack, and anyone else. I feel this strange foaminess building once again. So you guys are going to see me like constantly doing this. But anyway, yes, we're going to do a few more readings. Let me know if you guys have any other questions right now. I know there's been a lot of really really sharp and sort of heavy energy over the last few days. Plus, I think we're in the full moon, I believe, is this evening, as we know, which, given the climate on Earth right now, I think is going to lend to the further revealing of certain acts or things, or maybe we could even say, if you're following from the, what we would call the political spectrum, disclosures. And I don't mean, UFO disclosure. I'm talking about disclosures of all the stuff that's going on, within what I'll just call the current administration, all the wildness, all the political madness. I would say we're at a stage where there's going to be lots more kind of self-destruct processes that begin. There's going to be all kinds of revealings, and I think we're going to see some very interesting kind of events take place toward the end. Well, actually, I shouldn't say toward the end. I would say within the next 60 days. It does look like, at least from what I'm seeing, and I've been hearing a lot of other people talking about this as well, there's sort of a kind of a summertime event planned for those of us in, I think, the US and probably globally. Some sort of a strange twist or a turn or like a corner. I mean, probably like they're going to turn up the heat on us, or maybe it'll be the new stage of the manufactured shortages. One of the things that I have been seeing, and I guess since we're going there, with along with further weather modification, kind of just drama and strangeness. Um, what does look like somewhat of a temporary, I shouldn't say a power outage, but it looks like they're going to try to test one of those internet outages things somewhere in the US, I think in the coming month or two. You guys are going to hear about this big chunk, some big part of the US, they're going to go without internet. It's not going to be everyone. So no, it's not one of those like 3 days of darkness. It's coming. It's definitely not that. Don't get weird, guys. I believe that they're still running the tests on how to monitor how people will respond in a mass outage, and I believe, at least from what I can tell, the next one's going to be somewhere in the continental U.S. It's going to be at least a 24-hour or more period in which a number of systems go down, like transaction systems and people's internet and just all kinds of stuff. It's going to be watched very, very closely, and it's going to be 100% manufactured. And so, who knows? Maybe that's just a thing that's floating around out there. But it stands to reason. I believe that's going to be coming up in the coming months. We shall see. Sarah Ohm says Texas. I wonder. Probably would be Texas. Nicole A says Canada had this. That you know what, Nicole A, that's literally why I'm saying this. That's in response to that process. I believe they're going to be rolling out more of those. It's purely experimental still at this stage. While it is an eventuality, it will be an eventual tool for control. There's going to be that. Then there's going to be, I think, something that looks like a mysterious outage of all of or a big chunk of the electric car charging stations. I think that was one of the stages that's planned. There's a bunch of them. It's like they're just kind of testing how we're going to react to certain things. And so environment and energy, I think, is what's going on next, rather than, wars and bombs. Although, who knows? I could be totally wrong. But thank you. Anyway, let's get down to a few more readings. And so I'm going to scroll through and just grab a few people. I'm just going to grab some. So please don't be sad if we don't pick you. You can put your name in again. I can tell you I'm going to do 3 more right now. So I'm going to grab one from the upper part of the list, and then I'm just going to scroll through and grab somebody else. And so I'm going to roll up. Here we go. Here we go. Bam. What's up, Goldfishy pick frames? I just kind of went to the next indicated person after LMack, and we're going to go down to the bottom of the list next. But this is for Goldfishy pick frames. Thanks for being here. Hopefully you're still here. If you're not, this is for anyone else. It is regardless, but Goldfishy pick frames and everyone else out there in this strange world. What do we need to know? We're going to pull it together. We're going to see it together. Who knows what it's going to be? Goldfishy pick frames and everyone else out there in the world. Today you've received the 9 of Pentacles, which is actually a very good energy to have, although you'll be asking yourself, at what cost? Which is kind of, I guess, if you want to jump to the heart of the 9 of Pentacles, it is really one of those scenarios. It's like, it's a sign that for many of us, if you're looking for what is to come is a much more abundant, good feeling, good smelling, comfortable feeling place to be. If you're wondering, how does a 9 of Pentacles feels? It feels pretty good. You have all of your needs met. There's enough of everything. But you could also be a little bit held captive in the energy of the moment. Sometimes you could feel like you're behind what we call the golden bird cage, for those of you guys that have heard that term before. For some people, someone might sacrifice safety and comfort for freedom with a 9 of Pentacles. And it's not to say that, that's a thing you would do, Goldfishy pick frames, or anyone else, because that's not necessarily the heart of what this card's about, but it is one of the risks that we would take with a 9 of Pentacles, is that you could be somewhat contained by your choices to remain very comfortable. And the reality is you will be very comfortable. So if you're wondering, at this stage of my life, is something going to improve for me, we could say, economically or just on a live standard of living level, yes, absolutely. This is the sign of improvements in those areas. But some people would also say that this is the sign of, potential loss of freedom. In a different world, we would call a Nine of Pentacles universal basic income as long as you do certain things, which for some people is like, instantly they're like, what? What do you mean? And so, you can add on to whatever you want to that. But I would say, as I need to take a drink of water, interesting, all kinds of weird stuff going on in the oral world for me right now. For those of you guys who don't know, it's because we're in the middle of a cleanse right now. Thank you. We're on day 2 of that process, and I'm just making it even more awkward by chugging water on here with everyone. But anyway, Goldfishy pick frames and everyone else. 9 of Pentacles, excuse me, not a bad thing to have, but just be aware of what you're sacrificing in the energy of the moment, because a lot of times there's a barrier that we're going to have to break through with the 9 of Pentacles. If you really do want to receive all of something, if you really do want to go all the way in a certain place of your life, if you really do want to kind of complete certain processes, or at times even be truly free, with the 9 of Pentacles, you're going to be doing really well. But for a lot of us, that's kind of the trick, is you can remain there or you can get all of everything. And 9 of Pentacles says you're going to have to break through a barrier, jump over the gate, open the door, move into a new stage. And one of the things we know about Pentacles in general, for anyone out there that might identify with this energy, there's one of the things we know about this. People with big pentacle energy, we thrive on staying comfortable and just well put. I don't know where that phrase came from. We thrive on staying comfortable and well put. And so prepare yourself to break a little bit of that and to go into some uncharted territory. If you're able to do so, it's going to be one of the first stages of your life where you finally complete all of a certain thing, whatever that thing is. Could be a million things, but anyway. And so thanks for the questions, guys. And thank you, Goldfish Pick Frames and everyone else. What's up, Soul Schooling? What cleanse is it? Oh, cool. We're on day 2.5 of the Master Cleanse, where you drink a bunch of lemonade stuff. I held it up a couple times with cayenne pepper and, syrup and stuff. And it has been pretty intense. I'm in the extreme hunger phase, which is day 2 to 3, where it's like, oh, I need to eat, and everything gets weird and foggy and your brain doesn't work. And then like part of the day you're really manic, and the other part of the day you're like really tired. So anyway, it's honestly not that bad, and you guys are actually really helping with like the energy and everything. Thank you, Sherry. Whoa, I did not know this. Sherry came through with a gold mine over here. Pickle juice. Whoa. You know what? Maybe we will. I did not know this. I'm definitely in the extreme kind of mouth phase where there's all kinds of stuff going on in there. It's kind of weird and awkward and fun to be doing on a live stream. Anyway, we're gonna do a couple more readings. I'm gonna grab somebody from the bottom of the list. Oh, what's up, Zara? How's it going? I hope you're still here. What's going on, Zara? Thanks for rolling by our strange live stream. If you have not subscribed out there, please do so. And also, I do want to say we've been getting, I feel very blessed. We've been getting a tremendous amount of subscribers lately. Just over the past few months, we blew past the sort of 5,000 subscriber mark. And so if you're one of those people that has recently subscribed, because I started watching it every day, and there's a number of people that keep rolling in every day from where, who knows, but thank you. Thanks for rolling through. Please do like and share this video. I never thought that would actually make a difference, but apparently it does. So I would say thank you to those of you guys who have been sharing our videos and have been liking and commenting on our videos, because definitely helps. And so anyway, in the meantime, for Zara, and Zara, I'm not going to make this about you. This could be about the energy of the moment, but I want to talk about a phenomenon that occurs when I'm doing readings for people. And so sometimes when I'm doing readings, and I'm a big proponent of shuffling cards. And what I mean is it's like I'm constantly mixing up the energies and shuffling the cards over and over and over again. I think when you're working with a lot of people's energy, when you're working with energy a lot, I think when you're really reading, one of the best things you can do is continually sort of mix up the sort of pot of energies and constantly randomize the cards. And so for me, I'm a very big proponent of shuffling. And one of the things that'll occur sometimes when I'm going to read people, and here it is again, sometimes the cards will get kind of stuck. They'll get kind of stuck together in a little bit of a strange way. And over the years, I have learned to understand, or at least take a little bit from that. And that's often a time in one's life where it could indicate stuck energy in a number of ways. How would we be experiencing stuck energy? Well, a few moments ago, we had a 7 of Cups that showed up on the screen, and that was about a little bit of stuck energy in terms of indecisiveness. Stuck energy can also show up in terms of emotions within our body, sometimes in terms of what we would call analysis paralysis, and stages in which we'd be seeking answers or constantly kind of either fixated or ruminating upon certain things. And we're not defining you as such. I want to be very specific about saying that. We're not putting that on you or anyone else. I'm just describing the sort of quality of energy as we prepare to do a reading. So just in case, for Zara and anyone else, if you have been feeling anything like that, oftentimes when I will notice things get a little bit sticky, we will just say consciously, like, just be willing to let go. Be willing to let go. There's energy that we need to let go of or move, whether it be an emotion, whether it be a thought form, whether it be a decision you're trying to make. Usually, especially when you do it in the context of a reading like this, whether it's me and you over Zoom or me and you and 45 people over YouTube and maybe 1 or 2 people on Facebook, and then you make that decision in that moment, you have a much different result. So if you can, Zara, say it to yourself and anyone else: I'm willing to release anything that is blocked or just kind of stuck within me, emotions, energy, whatever that may be. Just do that. Take a deep breath in. Cool. Thank you. I'm also saying that for myself as well. It's weird. I could feel like energy in my throat as I said that. For those of you that are highly energetically analytical, you can even tell like my voice gets a little weird. It's like there's stuff that happens. And so for Zara and everyone else preparing to let go of energy in our lives today, here we go. We'll see it together. Boom. It's the Hierophant, our good friend, the Hierophant. He's a misunderstood person in the world of tarot. The Hierophant's a crazy guy, but yeah. So thank you, Zara. I'm seeing your comments there already. Have been feeling stuck in life. Absolutely, no matter how hard I try to move forward, I end back at square one. So you know what? Thank you for helping me by confirming that sort of stuck card moment. The reality is it's rarely ever a crisis, but there's usually certain things that we'll need to let go of. And I'll give you the most basic and kind of cheesy description. It's like you're trying to cram yourself through a very narrow passageway and you're holding all kinds of stuff. A lot of it isn't even yours at this stage of the journey. If I were to feel into the energy of the moment, which sometimes is very easy, today, I'll be real with you guys, it's not as easy to feel other people's bodies, but I think that's an example of when your own body is out of balance. I won't be able to necessarily feel people the same way as I normally do, but I felt a lot of throat energy when I sort of connected to you in that moment. So there might be some things that would need to be expressed, or there could be some people in your current journey that you need to say certain things to. And this is not always negative. Sometimes it's really beautiful and important things. And so don't take it as one of those, signs that you need to have a big emotional upheaval in your journey, because it's not necessarily about that. But usually you'll get a little bit of a feeling, especially in this now moment. You'll sort of get these images or these ideas in your head, and it'll feel like you're asking, like, is it this? Is it that? And that's a really good example of how our guides work, because that's actually them telling you what it is about. And yes, there's a stage where we can grossly overanalyze it. That's also a thing that happens. But anyway, before I get on too far of a rant, for Zara and anyone else, today you have the Hierophant. Who's the Hierophant, you guys? This is what we call the hand of God through man. Whether you subscribe to the traditional schools of tarot or multidimensional tarot, this is the hand of God through man. And when it shows up in your life, think of it like a guidance indicator that usually does certain things on your behalf. One, it can totally slow you down and kind of block you up and make things very hard for you. And it's usually in response to you kind of not being in alignment in certain places of your journey. The Hierophant can be a difficult thing to contend with, but there's always a point that we can come to in which you're in total union and kind of just complete flow with the Hierophant. In multidimensional tarot, the Hierophant will sort of open doors for you. It doesn't just slow things down and block them and place restrictions in your life. It can create miracles in your life, but it's usually guidance to do a very specific thing. And I'm already over articulating it in a really awkward way. What is it guidance to do? Prayer and meditation. The realm of the Hierophant is one of prayer and meditation. It's the smallest voice in your body. It answers your questions before you're even done asking them. It'll shut things down for you, but it never shouts at you. It never yells in your face and says, hell no. It just dries up things in your path. There'll be things that you're trying to kind of accomplish or do or gain in your world. And the Hierophant will kind of roll in his weird little way and know. And suddenly people stop answering text messages and the emails don't come in and so doesn't get a hold of you. And then it doesn't happen the exact way you thought. And that's the Hierophant rolling in to essentially, in many cases, remove things that are not in your highest good. Now, in certain cases, it can also block you up in ways that really aren't that good as well. So it's not necessarily like this good guy or a bad guy energy, but it is an energy that can be understood and sort of, I would say, explored, and you can kind of place yourself in harmony with the spiritual authority in this world through prayer and meditation, through what we call conscious contact with any power that is greater than yourself, like constantly being in contact with whatever that is. And so that's a really over-articulated way of saying your guides and your guardians and the energies that assist you have messages for you, and the way you're going to receive them is by going into a place of silence and meditation. And honestly, if you can do it every day, which I know is not that easy for everyone, but if you are willing to set a time in your day, let's say if you're not one of the people that does a lot of meditation, some of us do, some of us are just starting out that process, but if you can set a time in your day where you could devote even literally just half an hour to just total silence, even if it's just in the car, and it's just this moment where you connect with the voice inside you. For a lot of us, you're going to get all kinds of kind of weird emotions and thought forms in the first few moments of that. And most people quit because it's like you open up the mental body and all of your most recent problems come shouting out at you. But if you stay with it and breathe and remain in silence, for many of us, those are sort of like the seeding points and the entryways into what we call just a greater understanding of spirit. And it's like this other version of you, and these other conversations will begin in your body and your mind afterward. And for a lot of us, that's going to be where your guidance really kicks in. It's in you centering yourself and kind of going within. And anyway, I'm totally ranting on that, Zara, but thank you. Thanks for your comments. Totally. Center yourself. Go within. If you really want to do it right, well, I shouldn't say right. If you want to do it, actually, here, I'll just tell a story. I remember at another stage of my journey, I used to go to this group. It was a satsang group out in San Diego, California, and it was headed up by this kind of like a big time guru lady. I don't know that anyone would even know who she is, so I won't say her name here. It doesn't matter. You can just add any sort of guru name you want to it. And I remember, she would run these groups every other Sunday where, a bunch of people would come from all over the county, and you would just come into this place. And she had this ability to kind of put you into this, one of the, honestly, to this day in my life, the deepest states of meditation. And it was 1 hour silent meditation. And all we would do is gather in this room, and she would talk to everyone for maybe 15 minutes. And you would just begin silence. And it was like you would leave your body, you'll go to this whole other place. So many things would happen there. Maybe one day I'll talk a bit more about it. It was a very particular, wild, early stage of my journey. But what I learned at that stage was that you know, for those of us that are really devoting ourselves to kind of learning to connect with spirit or learning to open up those doorways within the body, you really need, and maybe I shouldn't say need, but you know, she recommended to me at that stage to sort of base my life around it and to create at least 1 hour to, if you want to get technical, 3 hours per day in which I would force myself into a state of silence. And I was able to maintain the hour of silence for like 2.5 years. Almost 2.5 years at that stage. Oh, there was a few times when it didn't happen, but it became a regular part of my journey, and it had a profound effect on me. And so anyway, try it if you can. Give yourself as much silence as possible, and you just will realize this whole other version of you just kind of rolls in. And anyway, thanks for hanging out. What's up, Soul Schooling? I tried this today as a starting point, and I literally ended up in fetal position, just laying in the grass. You know what? This is real talk. I am in the fetal position on the floor or the ground, so much so it's very comforting to hear that, Soul Schooling, because for some reason that's a thing that I'll just be real. That's a thing I've been known to do from time to time. And so I don't even know what that was in response to, but I definitely feel you. And so anyway, I also feel incredible foaminess. It'll be fun. There'll be like a drool thing or a bunch of white foam will gather at some point, and everybody will notice it except for me. Anyway, we're gonna do a few more readings. Thanks for hanging out, you guys. I hope a few of you guys will join us this Saturday. Annora's going to be coming in. My God, she's got such a different process of reading. You guys will love it. A lot of you guys have already had a reading from her if you're in the Patreon group. But you guys can join us this Saturday, the 16th at 4 p.m. Eastern. Annora's going to come in and do some readings. We're going to hang out for a little while. What's up, Gail, Emmer? Thank you. Totally. Everybody here is going into the fetal position live on YouTube. Just do it. I'll do it if you do it. That would be awkward, right? I don't know. Anyway, we're going to do some more readings. Thanks, you guys. I'm just going to find the first one I can find in the chat here. And so I'm going to go down to the bottom, and I'm going to go up. Thank you, Disco Tina. Whoa, cool. Bucky's, absolutely. It's the Bucky's shirt. Thank you. Thanks for noticing that. I'm going to be honest with you. This is one of the shirts that I wear, and at least in out here in Florida, people will randomly be like, "What's up?" People get really into Bucky's, which I did not know. We just stopped there on long road trips, and I was like, this place kind of sucks, but I like the t-shirt. But people seem to really love Bucky's, and so anyway, I just like the weird little character dude, and I was like, I gotta get that shirt. So anyway, okay, we're gonna do a reading. So I'm gonna keep scrolling up. Thanks, Zara, by the way. Thanks for being here. Thanks for the confirmation on the throat chakra. Thank you, Leyland. I appreciate you hanging out with us. Apple cider vinegar. Thank you, Karen Caldwell. Apple cider vinegar has been a force in my life for the past few months. I started to feel what I thought was a little bit of gallstones. Then again, I also do have a family history of gallbladder and gallstone stuff. So I thought I started feeling some kind of gallstone activity, and went through most of a bottle of apple cider vinegar. And I'm grateful to say that it's pretty much gone. Every now and then I feel a little bit of activity in there, but yeah, no, absolutely. Apple cider vinegar is a lifesaver. Absolutely. Boom, here we go. The next person up on the list was Joanna LeBlanc. How's it going? Good to see you again. Hope all is well out there in your current world. I have to kind of get ready for the reading process, so that entails drinking lots of water this time. So anyway, let's do a reading for Joanna and anyone else who needs to receive this card out there in the multi-dimensional realms. Thanks for hanging out today, you guys. You guys are really helping me keep the energy level up. Thanks for hanging out with us. And so here we go for Joanna LeBlanc and anyone else. We're going to see it together. Ready? Boom. Oh, Joanna LeBlanc, this is a pretty good thing to have, you guys. You know what? I'm gonna make a general observation, you guys. We've been getting a lot of pentacle energies today. This has been a heavy pentacle day, which makes a lot of sense because people are moving on from things. People are coming to realize their abilities. They're coming to realize their value. They're coming to realize that they have the ability to start, to begin, to be launched into action, to be recognized, to be abundant, to receive in really, really new ways. Every single all of the suits in the world of multidimensional tarot, there's a certain thing that they usually have to do or become, and there's also kind of hallmark elements that they have to watch out for. The pentacles must learn to receive. They also must learn in times of stagnancy, they must learn to move in a new way. Sometimes we could say live in a new way. Sometimes we could say create new routines, new passageways, new kind of avenues in their journey. They have to self-start in really wild ways. And anyway, getting back to the essence of the Knight of Pentacles for Joanna LeBlanc and anyone else, when you have a Knight of Pentacles in your life, it's a bit similar to the Page of Pentacles, if you remember that earlier, only she was holding this gigantic coin, something of great value, and she was in a beginning stage of it. The Knight of Pentacles is similar to that, but he's at another stage of the journey. He's at the stage of the journey in which he may be debating or wondering when or starting to realize that he's being called into action on a different level. He's completely prepared. He'll come into this life. You, as a Knight of Pentacles, will come into this life completely prepared and utterly geared up and totally ready for a certain thing. We don't know what the thing is. It could be a number of things. You'll get a little bit of an idea in your mind, usually a few of them as I'm mentioning it. But the Knight of Pentacles is the most prepared. He's also, we could say, just in general, he's one of the most impenetrable and the most guarded. Also, I would say the most protected. He's just incredibly shielded up. Just look at his symbolism, you guys. Covered in armor, incredibly well dressed. He's got this incredible horse. And the whole thing is a lot of people with Knight of Pentacles energy are very well suited for certain paths or tasks or whatever it is that they, are watching everyone else do. But the problem is they'll wait their entire life to be chosen. They'll wait their entire life to be recognized, or maybe not their entire life. They will, they'll just watch everyone out there doing a thing that they're doing, and they'll wonder, when is it my time? When am I going to get called in? When am I going to be a part of this? And the reality is, which sounds kind of grim, but it's not, is they don't. They never get called in. You never get recognized. You might never get acknowledged. And that's because, don't take it hard, it's because the Knight of Pentacles has authorization to begin on his own, to self-start, to generate a process, to rush in, to basically see them down there on the street doing that thing, and to walk over and to begin doing it as well. Or they will wait on the sidelines for most of their life and go, I could. And it's kind of like the kids that got picked last, for soccer in school, which was totally me, by the way, just so you know, you guys. Never got never got picked for anything. And I'll also be real. I think that's one of the social wounds that still exists for me today as an adult. And so a lot of us deal with Knight of Pentacles energy. We could have been the best at a certain thing. It's not like you even wanted to be, but Knight of Pentacles never really got a chance. And the reason was usually because they were meant to just do it and to start on their own. And so there's a lot of other things around Knight of Pentacles. That's the version that came out here today. But for, Joanna LeBlanc and anyone else. Anyway, what do you do with Knight of Pentacles just in general, Joanna? You'll just break through your resistance and understand that these knights always show up when you're in a process. You'll be in a process or a journey or an action-oriented stage of your human kind of current timeline. And the Knight of Pentacles will roll in to say that you've got the protection, you've got the armor, but you can't wait around. Well, actually, no, you can. Let's be real. You can wait as long as you want with the Knight of Pentacles. It's just know that you'll be waiting. And so wouldn't necessarily say it's a bad place to be, because Knight of Pentacles does really well in other areas of their life. If it's about money, Knight of Pentacles, all of the Pentacles characters, if it's about money, they usually will have that handled. So anyway. Oh, thank you, Joyce. Oh, that's sweet. Oh, thanks. I appreciate you. Thank you. I mean that. Dude, Cassandra got it. Boom. Thank you. Cassandra, we're gonna be calling you in to kind of summarize certain things that I've been dancing around saying through way too much articulation. You're gonna be the one in the background that's just like, bam, what? You in the Brooklyn way. Anyway, we're gonna do a couple more readings. Who else is out there? Who else is out there in this strange world? Thanks for hanging out today, you guys. It is definitely kind of one of the most like weird and kind of wavy live streams we've done in a while. I'm hyper conscious of the foaminess within my mouth. I think that's just the detox journey, but you know, hey, it's all good. Thank you, Disco Tina. Totally. Apple cider vinegar, right? Dude, I mean, granted, it'll also make you feel really sick too, right? But anyway. We're gonna grab somebody else. Soul Schooling, what's going on? I'm just moving up the chat, grabbing people at random. Yeah, totally. We're gonna pull a card. And so, for Soul Schooling, let's pause for a few moments. Just take a quick breath in. Like a dedicated, deep, full breath. Thanks, you guys. The fun part is you can tell that people will do it. There's a multi-second delay after I do a thing, and then it kind of reaches everyone else out there. I think it's 7 or 8 seconds I've noticed in terms of what happens on the sort of StreamYard screen, and then when it hits YouTube. And so it is almost like I will kind of do a process and I'll say, do it with me. And then you can sort of wait. You can wait a few seconds and then I'll feel everyone else do it. And have to be real. You definitely can. You definitely can. And so thank you to those of you guys out there clearing your energy with me. And if you're wondering, how can I do that? You know, what would I need to do to kind of open up that ability for myself? Probably one of the well, I shouldn't say easy because it's definitely not easy, but the thing that I'm doing right now, which is just a dedicated multi-day cleanse, dedicated multi-day detox process. In this case, I would call it more of a cleanse, less of a detox, because it's really more about flushing the body with water continuously over a 10-day period. But for a lot of us, that's one of the starting points. I can tell just on day 2 that while there is less energy in the body, while things are very foamy and strange and kind of puffed up, just like the sort of mental elements, you will already notice within 2 days, like a sort of a clearing effect. And so anyway, thanks for being with us. Soul Schooling, don't worry, we're still doing your reading. Here we go. For those of you assisting Soul Schooling, and I suppose anyone else that needs to be receiving this piece of energy here today, just anything that needs to make itself known in this moment down here on Earth in the year 2022. We're seeing it together. Soul Schooling. Boom. You got a 2 of Cups. Let's be real. This is a good thing to have. But, excuse me, as I drool everywhere. But I also got to be real. In the world of multidimensional tarot, the 2 of Cups has a different meaning for every single person that receives it, which can be kind of an awkward thing, but it's really about the energy of the beholder. So specifically for Soul Schooling on this one, what we need you to do, I shouldn't say need, but so if you want to get a real accurate kind of piece of what this energy means for you, Soul Schooling and anyone else, just look at the card. Look at the energy of the moment. Look at these 2 people sharing a cup. Notice that there is a reaction or a chemical reaction, a union that might be taking place in this moment. The 2 of Cups is a card that takes a different meaning depending on where you are at within how you perceive the spectrum of this experience on Earth. Some of us look at this and they go, oh, that's me and so. I know exactly what it's about. I feel this. Other people look at this and go, oh, that's my quest to, meet my twin flame. or whatever you want to attach to it, or you could say that's my soulmate, or you could also say, because not everyone is here within a romantic stage of their journey, you would also see this as a new agreement, a moment of union, the coming together, the union between the feminine and the masculine in a manner that is meant to create something. And so for some people, you could call this the beginning or a moment in which you will meet yourself within the eyes of another. For other people, it'll be the beginning of a relationship. For other people, it'll be a positive business related transactional moment. If you want to go totally 3D in the most kind of basic element, it's a transaction that takes place, an agreement and a union between two beings that leads to a creation. And so it's really up to where you want to kind of place this in your life. I can tell you though, it is one of the energies that when it shows up in your life, from a general perspective, it's a pretty good thing to have. But it's really more about how you perceive soul schooling, how you perceive the Two of Cups. And so think of or remember what you think of in your life when you see this. That's literally what it is. And for most of us, it's a positive union-related moment within whatever that sort of event is in your life. And sometimes you'll be moving closer to it. Sometimes it's a reconciliation. Sometimes it's a reappearance of that energy. It can be a lot of things. Somebody said it down there. Who was it? Joyce Hartman. Alchemy. It is very alchemical. Absolutely. Anyway, I hope that makes some sense. Thank you, Soul Schooling. I hope that makes a little bit of sense. In the context of a regular reading, that's definitely one where we would pull more cards on. And in order to really get, I think, the heart of where the Two of Cups shows up for people, we would need to be like talk. You know what I mean? There's an interaction that needs to take place in order to kind of understand where it shows up. Sometimes you'll get it, but that's definitely a moment where I'll pull other cards and go, tell me about this part of your journey. Let's discuss it. Where would it show up? Who would this energy be? What would you want to know about it? There's Two of Cups also invites, it's like it opens the door instantly for more. And so anyway, think about it. See how you feel. What shows up? What's up, Deciphering My Experience? Good to see you around these parts. How's it going? All right, we're gonna do another. What's up, Sarah? Do I remember when you said you kept thinking about trains? Whoa. I have to be honest with you, Sarah. I actually don't. Please tell me why. I mean that very sincerely. I don't remember that, but I'm sure I did. I'm probably sure I did. I wonder. Tell me the context of it, and maybe we can clear it up. I wonder what that's about. You have intrigued me. Or you had a thought on trains, maybe realize you're right. They might strike. Oh, you mean in terms of technology stuff that's happening in the coming months? Yes, that's actually a good one. I could, that makes sense. Like a train derailment or a further disruption in the transportation, kind of the flow of transportation across the nation. Could be something like that. I'm struggling to articulate things properly. I would say that's one thing I've noticed from this cleanse here. Words are coming out a little weird, but anyway, we're gonna do another reading. What's up, Frozen North? You came at the right moment, right at the right moment. We're gonna get a couple other people, but thanks, you just rolled in. And we're gonna pull a card for Frozen North. For those of you assisting Frozen North, we're gonna see it together live in the moment. Here we go. Frozen North, you guys, this is Pentacle Day 2022. The World of Pentacles have been making a massive showing here today. And so where did they go? Frozen North, there you are. And anyone else who needs to receive this, this is the King of Pentacles. This guy's the king of, well, we could say abundance. We could say kind of physical comforts, the king of, really good feeling, comfortable, abundant, grounded human experiences. You know, this is the okay. Here's a fun way to think of the King of Pentacles, you guys. The King of Pentacles is the kid whose house you would go to when you were a kid and they had all of the toys. Or maybe that was you and you were the kid that had all of the toys. Somebody got it down there on the side. We got a Green Man reference. Thank you, Vanya Patterson. Very good. Definitely also that. From the third density perspective, this is a very abundant, grounded, earthly being. They can be very stubborn. When this shows up, though, we would say from the perspective of a one-card reading, I would say you're in the stage of your journey in which it's time for you to learn how to receive on a greater level. Maybe break through a little bit of stagnancy in your life. Look at the places or the ways in which you're sort of doing the same things on the same days at the same times, because it's one of the hallmarks of the King of Pentacles. It's one of the things that makes him great. But at certain stages of the journey, with all the Pentacles characters, we have to learn how to receive all of what is truly ours. And King of Pentacles can get very comfortable in kind of where he is and where he's at. And so understand that there's usually a lot more that's available to you, but there's certain patterns and sort of repetitious kind of behaviors and certain things that will exist in your world that will kind of keep you in a predictable loop. If you really want to kind of shake up your world right now and create what some people call a wave of inspiration or a wave of discomfort that causes you to alter the path of energy in your life right now, you can do a very interesting thing. You can rearrange your bedroom or the room in your house in which you spend the most time in. That's kind of an old world magical operation that you can take place or take part in when you have King of Pentacles or Queen of Pentacles or a lot of Pentacles energy. Is you'll rearrange your sort of dwelling space. And really, if you want to really do it right, you will rearrange your bedroom, and it will anything you can do to cause yourself to wake up and look at a different perspective. For some people, it'll be a very weird thing because you'll wake up and you'll be like, whoa, I hate the way I rearranged my room. Why did I do that? But that's a very specific type of old world magic that you can do that will cause you to break certain patterns in your life, especially when you have big pentacle energy. It'll just cause you to change something. And so try it out. That may or may not even make any sense in your world. You might be like, well, what does that have to do with me? Well, to be more specific, the pentacles, if they were working with an energy center within your body, a lot of them begin within the root chakra. And so within the realm of pentacles and tarot, we're talking about matters of early childhood programming. We're talking about matters of abundance. We're talking about how you receive energies, money, experiences, how you connect with people, or how you initiate processes in your life. A number of things. We could go farther and farther. And so when you have the King of Pentacles out there, understand that you're in a very advanced place, usually a good place to be. It just, there's a lot more that's available for people that have that. Anyway, I'm kind of over articulating that for you, Frozen North. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for hanging out. We're going to do a couple more. And the only reason why we're going to cut it short is because I'm almost out of water over here. So when the water goes, I might have to as well. Oh, thanks, Sarah. I was very intrigued by your comments. And I didn't take it in a weird way either. I was just like, whoa, I wonder what the train thing was about. But I could definitely see that happening, even if that's not what I was insinuating or alluding to in the moment. Anyway, yeah, thank you for your comments. Thanks for hanging out. We're going to do a couple more readings. I'm going to scroll up in the list. We're going to go up in the list because I know a couple other people were asking for readings. We're going to grab somebody from up there. What's up, Jenny Danielle? How's it going? What's going on? Thanks for stopping by this strange, I would say semi kind of low energy live stream here today. A little bit kind of low energy. I can feel myself in the kind of wavy, kind of frothy stage here. Anyway, thanks, Jenny Danielle. We're gonna pull a card for you. Here we go. So you guys can help me once again. We're going to do one of those big breaths in together, like one unit, one group. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Take a deep breath in. Just let it out. There you go. There we go. Thanks, you guys. I felt that. For Jenny, Danielle, and anyone else that needs to receive this energy. Boom. Jenny, Danielle, how's it going? Today you have received the Seven of Wands. Now, Seven of Wands is an interesting character, and we were on a little bit of a pentacle run for a while. Seven of Wands, I would say, I'm going to start out with the really simplified version for, where did you go? Jenny, Danielle, just so sometimes I'll forget the name. Ooh, that's how you can tell you guys. Sometimes like I'll get really weird and kind of manic and I'll forget people's names. I can feel it happening already. There it is. Anyway, Jenny, Danielle, you got a Seven of Wands. And I'm going to make it really simple from the start. The Seven of Wands, at its essence, you need to recognize the advantages that you currently have. You are on a completely different level in certain areas of your life. You're head and shoulders above others. If you perceive yourself in a conflict with the Seven of Wands, please understand it's a conflict that in most cases, not all, in most cases, you've internalized a conflict from the outer world that probably doesn't have anything to do with you. And it doesn't mean that you're in some form of an active conflict, because it's not necessarily going to be something that's playing itself out in the outer world. Seven of Wands for most of us is internal. And it'll be a thing within you that causes you to stay defensive, causes you to stay closed, causes you to stay separate from other people. Please understand, though, it is an advantage, and it's a thing that you have to come to terms with. And so, yes, there are certain walls that you will drop in your life. There's certain kind of defensive maneuvers that you'll need to learn to do without. But you will also realize that you have a huge advantage, and you're just on completely higher ground from other people in areas of your life where you feel the most conflicted right now, where you feel the most attacked, where you feel the most just awkward and not a part of. The Seven of Wands shows up in your life to say, hey, just so you know, you've got a huge advantage and you need to be made aware of it. And so it's a good thing, but it's also an awkward thing. Sorry, as I drool on myself here, but it's also an awkward thing, because people that really have big Seven of Wands energy, you're usually not feeling like you're at an advantage. You're usually not feeling like you're on higher ground. You're usually not feeling like you're doing better than everyone else, because you'll be looking at what everyone else are going through and kind of making it your own. Or you'll have kind of watched it out there in the outer world, and you'll be sort of playing it like stories or weird kind of experiential thought forms that you'll be rolling through, in your own life. And so you got an advantage right now, and I pray that you are able to recognize it. And I also pray that this applies in some place in your kind of recent earth journey. And anyway, thanks for rolling through. I hope that makes sense. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight as we awkwardly chug water and over articulate certain tarot cards. I'll just mention it again for anyone that wants to join us. My wife Annora is going to be doing readings in our Patreon group, the Blue Flame Collective. That's coming up this Saturday, the 16th at 4 p.m. Eastern. You get a whole different type of reading from her. She just goes, man, such a trip. So for anyone that's interested, we'll get the link. I will get it back and we'll post it in here shortly. But anyway, thanks you guys. Thanks for being a part of this thing. We're gonna grab a couple more people. Thanks, Jenny, Danielle. That internalizing gets me. Absolutely. Yeah, you really do. There's an advantage. I would say look at the areas where you feel the most conflicted right now, where you find yourself, standing there, sitting there in your own world, and you're going like, it's like you're still playing the battle in your mind, or you're still going through the argument in your head, or you're doing the what if scenario. That's a good one with Seven of Wands. You'll be doing this what if battle in your mind. And those are actually the areas where you have to realize you have a huge advantage. So that's why people that have it don't necessarily realize that they have the advantage, because they'll be in there going like spinning around in their own internal world. And so Yeah. Anyway, well, what's up, Karen Caldwell? It might be up all night peeing. You know what? You're right. We just might be. It's part. It's not making it weird, Karen. That's part of the process with the world of kind of cleansing and detox. There's definitely a lot of that. Thanks, Cassandra. Appreciate it. This is it. Please join us this Saturday, coming up at 4 p.m. Eastern. I appreciate you. So anyway, all right, we're gonna do a couple more readings. We're getting to the tail end of tonight's experience, and I gotta be real. We made it a lot farther than we thought we were. Okay, I'm just gonna scroll up. We're gonna grab the first one that we see. The first one that we see, Oneida Shark. How's it going? We're gonna pull a card for you. Thanks for rolling through this strange channel. For those of you guys that are hanging out, please do subscribe. And thank you if you have recently subscribed. I mean this sincerely. We've been getting a lot of new subscribers lately. So thank you for helping us bust through a weird algorithmic kind of cap. I don't know how that works with the world of YouTube. And you know what's weird is it came all around the time that we got our first video kind of knocked down. For a lot of you guys know this, in the kind of the Saturday show that we do, the last interview we did with Jenny Constantine was, they unfortunately YouTube took it down. And so, yeah, who knows the way that works. My hope is she'll come back on our show though. I think it just means we have to do a third show. And so hopefully she'll be up for it. Anyway, in the meantime, let's focus on the moment. Oneida Shark, thanks for rolling through. We're going to pull a card for you. For Oneida Shark and anyone else that needs to receive this energy in the moment. Here we go. We're going to see it together. You'll see it before me. I have not seen it yet. We don't know what it is. Boom. Oh, what? Oneida Shark. Well, okay, you guys. I'm going to say it once again. I don't know how we are in heavy pentacle land here today. So many of the cards we've pulled have been pentacles. I think all but maybe 2 of them have been pentacles characters. 3 maybe. We haven't even done that many readings, but most of them have been pentacles. And so, Oneida Shark, you have received the 5 of Pentacles. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people will see this, and they look at the symbolism of it, and they're like, what? I got 2 homeless people in the cold alley out in the dark? What? Everybody got those cards, and I got a 5 of Pentacles? What does that mean? What happens when you have a 5 of Pentacles, you guys? Because some people don't necessarily, this is an interesting, strange, and maybe potentially triggering image. 5 of Pentacles is best described, I would say, as an illusionary state that only lasts so long as we remain focused on what we do not have. And so we're not going to put you in the realm of 5 of Pentacles, but you might have been feeling a little bit of this in your life lately, Oneida Shark. It's just a stage in which you're going to be very aware of what you don't have that other people do have. It's like you'll see the haves and the have-nots in the world. And for a lot of people with 5 of Pentacles, you're going to be feeling you're part of the have-not experience. It's a thing that happens to a lot of us in this life. It's not a stage that you have to remain in, though, because the reality is for 5 of Pentacles, there are resources that are available to you if it is a stage that you're in. And sometimes you might just be feeling out in the cold, socially not a part of. The whole kind of story behind the 5 of Pentacles is that the people in this card, this strange homeless couple right here, they stop worrying about what they do not have and they sort of turn toward each other. They realize that there's a certain thing that is within them that they're able to accomplish that they're unable to accomplish when they're separated. And so it asks us to come together, but also from an energetic perspective within the energy body, it is also the energy of your root chakra. It is also the energy of your soul, or excuse me, the earth star down at the bottoms of your feet chakra. And why would it have to do with those 2 energy centers? And granted, there's countless numbers of energy centers in the body. Don't listen to anyone that says there's only 7. There's so many, but we're not going to go into that. The earth star and the root chakra make up what we call kind of the heart of your energetic foundation. And so when we do have a 5 of Pentacles in our life, you might need a little bit of work on belief systems, on programming around lack, on early childhood programming, on the stages of your life where you were programmed earlier in your life in terms of what you deserve and what you do not deserve, what you need in this life, how you perceive yourself in terms of worthiness is another factor with Five of Pentacles. And so we're not going to define you as being in a stage where you're having issues with this stuff, but what we are going to say is look at these energies in your life, because usually there is some sort of a place or an area where you will have resources or an ability to change, or really, and this is a theme that we've had with all of these cards here, especially the Pentacles, is they learn how to receive something that is truly theirs. The Five of Pentacles would be at a stage where we would be caught up in feeling really what we don't have. And so feel what you do have, which for some people feels like an overly simplistic way to kind of break down that card. But at its heart, Five of Pentacles is the energy of lack. And so it's about realizing resources and the beauty and the things that are intact and whole in your life. And, you know, a bunch of other things as well. Oneida Shark, that's definitely another one where you and I would be going, tell me about what's going on in your world, and pulling other cards alongside it. So anyway. Thanks, Miss Liz. Totally. You guys can find us at rememberyourmission.com. Absolutely. Private sessions are still the heart of what we do every single day. And so, yeah, feel free to reach out. Moon is in Capricorn. Boom. Thanks, Cassandra. You know, here's the thing. I actually rely on a lot of you guys to tell me stuff like this through your posts and the energy that you are, you know, putting out there and the comments that you make and just, you know, the stuff that you're posting. So thank you. You have, yeah, I appreciate that. I was not aware of that. And for those of you guys that are wondering, like, how are you not aware of that? You're a professional psychic. Everyone else knows this, but if you're new on this stream, I am the least astrological professional psychic in the world. I don't look at any elements of our planets. I'm entirely body related and what I would call empathic, or sort of multi-dimensional energy streams. It's like it's purely what we read through the realm of tarot and what I pick up when we sort of connect with your energy. And a lot of people ask, you know, okay, well, how do you connect with other people's energy? Well, there's a number of ways in which I've learned that it works for me. One of the deliberate ways is I have learned to consciously kind of take a breath of energy at a certain point when I'm doing a reading, like right as we're going to pull a card, which is why we have been doing it in this live stream here today. And it's sort of like you will set your intention to sort of absorb or inhale or read or reach a person's energy. And so one of the things I'll do in a lot of cases is I'll sort of take a deep breath in and just sort of notice what comes up when your intention is to connect with another person. Now, for some people, that's a really easy thing to do. In some cases, when I am doing a private reading, that's one of the first things I'll do. Other cases, there's a thing that occurs where people will come in, especially when I'm doing a reading with somebody over Zoom, which, well, that's the only place I do readings, but, and you will hear it within their voice instantly. I would say what comes through in the voice is much more of what's going on within the energy body in terms of either deficits or excess or blockages. It's like you'll hear it in the fragment of a person's voice right as they start speaking, the first just fragment. And, you know, for anyone that's watching this stream right now, if you watch it later, you can rewind back to the first few things I said when I started, and you will hear a difference in the frequency. And it's not necessarily because, you know, granted, the voice warms up and our energy changes over the hour-and-a-half journey, but it's because I believe that people's energy is sort of immediately broadcasted instantaneously. Another place you can look is the energy around the sides of their eyes, which isn't always so easy for me because I wear glasses, but when I'm doing readings with people, I will also look at the energy of the eye. But one of the easiest things to do is to kind of take that breath in. Now, as you detox the body, as you kind of open up your energy centers, as you heal the inner child, as you learn to work with your emotions and truly express them, for a lot of us, that's where those senses become stronger. And so a lot of you guys will hear me say, you know, we take a breath and then I feel you guys do it. Understand, you can definitely do that. You absolutely have the ability to kind of train yourself to kind of read energy on that level. And it doesn't mean that I will always be doing it right, because like anything in this world, it's a thing that, some days you're going to be totally dead on. Other days you're going to be kind of wavy. Today's a good example of when we're kind of like, whoa, we're just sort of like rolling with, the energy of the moment and seeing what, comes in. So take everything with a grain of salt. But anyway, sorry to go on an awkward rant about that, but just know, for anyone else, you are literally in the life cycle on Earth right now in which those psychic abilities are standard for every living being. It doesn't mean that you're going to be really good at the exact things that you want to be good at. I really, when I first started realizing that this was a thing that I could do, I really wanted to be one of those people that was able to, talk with ghosts and like, talk about our dead relatives and like, connect with all those beings that had died. And here's the thing, I have acknowledged at many readings and stages in which we've done that, but it was never the focus. In fact, it was one of those areas that when I tried to interface with those, I was kind of weak. And other people would come in, people like my wife, for example, where they would perceive things when I was like, I would feel at a loss. And, I think that's the thing that you're going to find with everyone that is opening up these psychic gifts is, most people want to, have this totally open third eye in the beginning, and they'll sort of judge your own psychic or intuitive sensibility, or your abilities rather, off of what you perceive in another person that has a very open energy center, when the reality is, even if yours is not as open as others, you will have your own equal version of whatever that ability is, only it may be auditory, or it may be auditory. It might be empathic. It might be, through a number of other, kind of filters or lenses. And so anyway, just understand, you guys, you are legitimately in the stage of your life where those things are available to us. Some of them will come blasting on, in our life. Something will just activate and it'll show up. But for other people, it's also going to be a thing that we have to work at. Which I think is a thing. If you're wondering, I guess I'll go there. Everyone knows that eventually I would talk about this, but here it comes again. If you're wondering, what is a free thing that I can do? What is one free thing that I can do that doesn't cost any money, that I don't have to go to a class to learn how to do, that will actually have a massive effect on my well-being, on my energy centers, on my intuitive abilities? Some of you guys out there know what I'm going to say if you've watched my live streams, but it's Qigong. Literally Qigong. If there's one thing I ever did that where I noticed had a massive effect on how I perceive and was able to feel and receive energy and kind of all those things, it was Qigong. And if you're able to kind of do that on a daily basis, I guarantee you within 60 days, you will be in a completely different stage of your journey. Anyway, watch out. I'm gonna table the Qigong rant for the moment, because there's a few of you guys out there that watch my live stream that'll be like, oh my God, here he goes, the Qigong rant. But anyway, yes, the Qigong rant. Thanks, Deciphering My Experience. I appreciate you. Thanks for hanging out. Oh, and by the way, you guys, get over there and subscribe to this guy's channel. Eric Hecker's been talking about some really, really cool things that I genuinely enjoy watching. So thank you for being one of those people, Mr. Hecker out there, who I'm like, oh, okay, cool, that guy's on, I'll watch that. And yeah, thank you for, I would say it's the authenticity that like people will sort of bring in, that it doesn't really matter what they're talking about. It's like you'll just sort of like, oh, okay, cool. And so yeah, thank you for kind of bringing the realness recently. I appreciate it. What's up, Eternal Dreamer? How's it going? Thanks for rolling through. I appreciate you stopping by. You're on the most manic and brain fogged and sort of malnourished live stream of the year so far. As a lot of you guys know, I've already said it 20 times, we're on day 2 of a really big master cleanse. So I'm in a really weird brain fog. Everything's strange. What's up, Haley? Haley Iniguez. One time I sent the intention to connect with you over a live like this, and it felt like an awesome drug that you get when you go to the doctors. And then that evening I healed a big trauma. It was cool. You know what? I mean this very sincerely, Haley. Thank you for saying that. Thank you for mentioning that. That is I would say that's really more about your ability to kind of receive and tune in with energy. And there is an absolute effect that occurs when you're sort of when you're in a group environment or you're in an activated environment alongside other people. And kind of like they say in many religious texts, when two or more are gathered, the presence of spirit is, it's like literally there. And so I am grateful that that had an effect on you. And hopefully that was, it feels like it was a positive experience, but yeah, thanks for hanging out. Appreciate you. I think we're going to do a couple more readings. I'm at like the most kind of foamy I've been this entire time. We have a little bit of water left, so we're still good. We're going to grab somebody for a reading. What's up, Gail? Emmer, how's it going? You were in the right place at the right time. I appreciate you. Pull a card for Gail Emmer. What's going on in your world? What does she need to know? So sometimes we'll take a breath in, but a lot of you guys will notice, because it is, sometimes I watch myself doing it back on the live streams and I feel embarrassed. But when I'm also connecting with someone's energy, and I believe it is an attempt to connect with what we call the assemblage point, which is a whole other discussion. But what I've noticed I do is I will turn up and to the left. There's like a connection, or sometimes what I would call like a portal effect, or it's almost like you'll plug into these streams of energy. And for me, it's nearly always, it's like up and to the left. And so you'll notice other people do that. I have seen other people kind of glitch out in other ways that maybe not feel so awkward and weird when I do it. But a lot of you guys that are also developing in sort of your own abilities to tune in with sort of guides and like, you know, even the telepathic kind of energy that we share with people, you might find yourself at certain stages. It's almost like you'll turn in a direction, like you'll sort of, like, imagine if you were trying to overhear a conversation, or if someone was saying a thing and you would look toward it, right? You'd be like, huh? Or you'd kind of angle your ear in order to pick up a frequency. Sometimes you'll try to see what it is. And so it doesn't matter which sense that you're using, but notice the directions in which you are drawn when intentionally connecting to spiritual energies. In some cases, that can also tell you a bit about what, you know, kind of activating chakras or elements of your energy field that sometimes we could even need work. But anyway, not to go down that road. Sorry, Gail Emmer, we got sidetracked with a weird anatomical rant. And so here we go. For Gail Emmer and anyone else. Here it comes. Oh, it's the return of the Two of Cups. That's an interesting thing. Thank you, Gail Emmer. I wonder where you are in your cycle of experiences pertaining to the Two of Cups in your life. The good news is I'm gonna pull another card, because the reality is if I was ever in a reading with someone and they receive the Two of Cups, the first thing I would ask you, Gail Emmer, is what do you think about when you see this Two of Cups? And granted, we're not going to know your answer. You can put it in the chat if you want. Usually it'll show up a little bit afterward. But if you want, just think about what this means to you. First off, know that it usually represents a positive stage of union, a chemical reaction, an alchemical experience. For most people, it's a positive one, but I want you to kind of decide who and what you think of when you see it. And so if we were really doing a reading, then I would say, okay, guys, what do we need to know about that Two of Cups? Here it comes. Boom. Two of Cups leads us to 10 of Pentacles. And so more pentacles, which is wild, you guys. Some of you guys will hear it in the background. I'm constantly shuffling these things. I would say in terms of just group energy or community energy or soul group energy that comes through today, pentacles are everywhere. To kind of pause for a quick second on discerning this for you specifically, Gail Emmer, and for everyone else, when we see tons of a certain suit, like they show up over and over and over again, that honestly is a sign to look at energy of abundance, look at energy of finance, look at what you are manifesting in the world, look at your cycles of abundance, look at how you're handling those things, look at the stagnancy in your life, look at how you're receiving what the world's trying to give you. How are you receiving, or are you restricting those energies? And so those are all themes of Pentacles, how we receive physical things in the world, the currency of your desire. And so you had a Two of Cups that rolled in. Oh, there it is. Thank you, Cassandra. She put in there. You had a Two of Cups which is usually a positive moment of union, an alchemical union in your life. Could be romantic, it could just be a good moment that you share with another person. So you get to define it how you want, Gail, Emmer, but then you got a 10 of Pentacles right after that. And so whenever we see, what does it mean when we see tens, you guys? Don't worry if you don't know. All of the tens in the world of multidimensional tarot, and probably regular tarot as well, these are endings, closures, periods at the ends of sentences. You know what I mean? They wrap up a certain thing. And it doesn't always have to be a big thing. It doesn't always have to be, in this case, a generational ending. But sometimes it is. Sometimes it's the end of the week. And so, Gail, Emmer, you have the most abundant ending in the world of tarot. But don't worry if you're sitting there going, well, I don't know what's ending in my life. I'm not exactly sure what this man's talking about. That's okay. Sometimes you'll know exactly what it is. This is about generational energy. It's the energy of a generation, a family unit, a group of beings. Usually when a 10 of Pentacles rolls into your life, you're going to be moving through a doorway soon, or maybe other people in your life are. They're going to be going through a doorway and they won't be coming back through that doorway. And it's not the tragic version of that. It's just a change, the end of a generational cycle, the end of a generational process. And it's honestly one of the best ones you can have. And so I would say embrace any of the ending processes, the closures, the generational chapters that look like they're wrapping up. And sometimes it's even down to embrace your relationships with people within those generations. Somebody just dropped it in the chat. There it was. Uni Matrix said it. Completion. Thanks, Uni Matrix. Good to see it. And so anyway, it's a good version of the ending cycle, Gail, Emmer, and anyone else. I hope those cards find you well. Thanks for rolling through. Thanks to Ciphering Experience. I'm going to suggest that your up left look may have been taught to you in your youth. You know what? I don't know. Maybe it was. I can tell you that I noticed the directional things started happening at a stage where, after I kind of started doing intuitive work full time, I stopped judging my actions in a weird way, which is weird because I was doing it more and more on camera, and all I saw was my actions or my expressions. And so I had to come to the stage where I would stop worrying about how I looked or the expression that I was making on my face, which is a hard thing to do, you guys, it's a hard thing to do for everyone. But if you're a person that shows up on camera every day, it's even harder because you're going to be judged by the way you look. And what I would do is I would sort of see myself glitching out, or when I would feel energy coming in, I would just feel this thing and I would want to like move or do a thing. And it was like the more I edited that, I think the more I kept myself in another stage, like an earlier, less developed version of myself. And so I would say at a certain stage, maybe it was a long time ago, but for me, it felt like it was just in the past few years, I stopped caring, and I would just kind of like, I would feel this thing come in and it's like, boom. And you just kind of like grab onto it. I would say the more that I have embraced that stuff with shameless authenticity, not to say that I don't cringe when I see myself on camera, because I do. You know how, you guys know how it is. You're going to only see all of your faults. You know what I mean? So I'll just see, I'll just see like my teeth or the shape of my face or how my hair looks, and I'll judge myself based off that. And so that's more of like the, like the ego trap thing that we get in. But yeah, I just kind of let myself glitch out in whatever manner we need to. I would say, the more we all let ourselves glitch out in whatever manner we need to, the more authentic and probably a lot better we'll feel about it. Anyway, we're gonna grab one. What's going on, girl? Oh, I thought it was girl and her bong. Whoa. Okay, I have to be real. Thank you, girl and her gong, for rolling in. I truly read it as girl and her bong, and I was about to make a joke and be like, what? Yeah. And so anyway, thank you, girl and her gong. It's good to see you. We're gonna pull a card for you. I don't know. I'm gonna be real. I wanted it to be a girl and her bong, just being real. Not that it's a bad thing that you're not, because gongs are incredible, but there's a certain comedic value in that moment where you're like, what's up, girl and her bong, But anyway, yeah, thank you. For those of you assisting the mind body spirit complex referred to as girl and her gong, we're just looking for any advice or understanding, anything that we need to be made aware of here today. I'm just going to shuffle the cards one more time for girl and her gong. And anyone else. And I'll be real, I feel the massive hunger pains. And so this might be the last one, so I can go chug a bunch of oddly flavored cayenne pepper laced lemonade for the next 7 days. But thanks for hanging out, everybody. We will be back on Saturday. We'll definitely be back on Saturday. Saturday is Zoom only, though, for those of you guys that want to join the Patreon thing. Annora is going to be coming in and doing a bunch of readings. And so that's Saturday, but that's on Zoom only. I think the link's floating through. But anyway, for girl and her gong. And anyone else, we'll see it together. Here we go. Boom. Oh, wow. Girl and her gong. You got a good one. You got a good one. You got literally another version of the Two of Cups. You got it. Well, it's not, I shouldn't say it. The Lovers is not necessarily another version of the Two of Cups. Let's be real. But there's a very, very similar energy from a number of perspectives. And so anyway, once again, this is the same thing I'm going to say as we did with the Two of Cups. For girl and her gong and anyone else that needs to receive this right now, what do you think of when you look at the Lovers, especially girl and her gong? Well, think of your own life and look at this card and ask yourself, what does this mean to me? What does it feel like? Don't worry, that's not me trying to flip it around on you. It's an association. It's an internal, a psychological, it's association that you're going to create with this. And so who is it? What is it? You might have a number of scenarios. You might have a number of scenarios that roll in. It's going to be all of them. And so number one, grab onto that. That's what it's about. Number two, when the Lovers rolls into your journey, you are often coming to either a stage of union or separation. This is where we get weird with the Lovers, because it's not always this beautiful love story. Sometimes the Lovers needs to roll in so that we'll understand that there is a separation also taking place. But understand that when this rolls in, this is something that is meant to be. And it's really about recognizing what is, about allowing certain processes, allowing yourself to be completely authentic, allowing yourself to be completely seen. You will do that by completely receiving in total non-judgment the energies or the emotions or whatever this applies to in your life. Now, sometimes, let's say you're going to be in a stage of your journey where you are seeking love and you are seeking a relationship. Maybe you have one. It doesn't matter. But understand that if you are in a relationship, if you are seeking a romantic, experience in your life, yes, this oftentimes will signal the potential of the arrival of that. In the event that you are seeking it, then that means you need to begin to recognize it. You'll need to begin to receive it. You'll need to begin to you'll begin to live as if this is a thing that is already happening in your life. You will also need to recognize and make certain changes in your world that will cause you to be able to receive whatever this energy is. And so there's all kinds of details and energies that are wrapped up with the Lovers, but for most people, this is a positive chapter or a stage of coming together, a union, a romance of sorts, although not a requirement. Now, let's say if you were already in some sort of a relationship, or let's say this was showing up and you knew in your heart that it didn't have anything to do with romance or, those things, in that case, it can be another process. In that case, it will be allowing what is meant to take place, dropping your resistance, learning to recognize yourself in the eyes of another. If you want to go into the pure kind of spiritual lesson of the Lovers, we could go back to the Law of One. One of the sessions in the Law of One, they're asking Ra, like, is there anything, I don't remember what the question was, but the kind of the idea was, what should we be practicing? What should we be doing? Is there anything you recommend for us to be involved with? And I think was pretty sure he said something along the lines of, look into the mirror, see the eyes of the one infinite creator. Look into the eyes of another, see the eyes of the one infinite creator. And then part 3 was remember that the moment contains love. And so it can just be one of those sayings that comes, from some channeled sixth density being, or it can be an actual thing that you will apply to your life. But the lovers will recognize what is, and they will allow for a process to take place. And anyway, thank you. I love you, girl said it as well. Love yourself, totally. Because sometimes this is about you, and it is about you allowing yourself to be the most authentic version that you can be. Thank you, la love girl. I always mess up your name, because I'm already drooling on myself once again. Totally. Thank you. The heart chakra, you got it. You know what's up. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Thanks for being here, you guys. If you were feeling the Two of Cups earlier, thanks, girl, and her Gong. Appreciate it. That was for you, and I think anyone else that needed to receive it. And so, anyway, I appreciate you guys. I think we have enough for one more reading. We have a little bit of water left. We have enough for one more reading, and so I am gonna scroll up and I'm gonna find the last person that asked for a reading. And I'm so sorry for anyone else if you got skipped. I promise we're gonna do this again. If you want, you can come to our Patreon group on Saturday. My wife Annora is gonna be doing readings. The cool thing is about that, and maybe I shouldn't say it, but I will. Everybody that goes to that group definitely gets a reading, which is why sometimes they're incredibly long. Although I don't think it'll be that long this week. And Nora's pretty good at, like, she has a good flow kind of going. But anyway, so you can also show up on Saturday. Definitely guaranteed you'll get a reading. And so the link is out there somewhere. I'm gonna find it. We'll put it up one more time while I look for who we're doing a reading for. I'm just gonna grab the last one that asked. And so actually here, we're gonna do that right now, so I don't miss it. Sorry for the dead air, you guys. I'm trying to find the last person that asked for a reading. Hopefully they're still here. Boom, there it is. What's up, KM? You squeaked right in there. KM squeaked in. Okay, cool. So KM, you're up next. In the meantime, there it is in the chat. Thank you, Cassandra. You guys can join us on Saturday. You'll definitely get a reading. It'll be a different person. She's much more in-depth. I'll admit it. I'll admit it. She's way better than I am at doing certain. Oh man, so many things. Anyway, sometimes she watches these lives, so she might be in the background going, like kind of cringing, like in the other room. Anyway, this is the end of our water journey. Here we go, KM. I feel so much weird energy rolling. It's actually been really good. So thank you for your comments, everybody, on the energy. I definitely feel the massive hunger pain. So we're gonna get through this one and we're gonna roll out of here. But anyway, thanks, Cam. Here we go. We're gonna focus on your energy for a moment. And so just take one of those deep breaths in with me. Thank you. Thank you, Cam. That's a good way to sort of ground the energy of the moment. I appreciate it. For those of you assisting KM in the strange energetic realm, anything we need to be, she needs to be made aware of today. We'll see it together. Oh, look, it's the Knight of Cups. I was almost expecting, KM, I'll be honest, I was expecting some more pentacle people. And so hopefully we kind of broke through the pentacle bubble, which, there's been a big theme for all of our readings here today, you guys, about receiving, about allowing what is yours, about opening yourself up to receiving, about working on your root chakra, about working with finances, which it makes sense. There's incredible inflation. Even if you're not in the US, everyone's getting some weird economic energy. We're all feeling, all the craziness, and, whether it's gas prices or just how everything's more expensive, it's a thing. Everyone's experiencing it. So we had a lot of those themes. And then finally, at the end of our stream here today, KM rolled in. And so did the Knight of Cups. And so who's the Knight of Cups? What's he doing? Why is he here? Well, KM, this one probably really is about you. This is the next stage of a very emotional journey that we'll go through in our life. And at its essence, Knight of Cups is an emotional being on an emotional journey. If you're wondering, is there certain things in my life that I'm meant to be focusing on right now? Or is there an area of my current world that I should just invest myself for the purpose of healing, for the purpose of understanding my true depth, for the purpose of understanding the depth that is available in terms of just what I'm capable of in this world? The Knight of Cups is your man for that journey. He can go far deeper and just way, way, way. He'll just, I'll just say the word. He'll just go deeper than everyone else. So KM, understand that this is an emotional being on an emotional journey. Your duty at just this present junction with the Knight of Cups is to go deeper, to stop skimming the surface of the water. People that have Knight of Cups energy, you're often a person that can exist in many different places. You're able to mix with many different types of people. You're able to barely skim the surface and exist and just kind of flow in the energy of the moment. You're probably very versatile in a number of ways, but what happens is you're also incredibly dreamy. You're also incredibly deep, and there's a depth and a power and just all sorts of just knowledge and information and experiences that are due to you if you're willing to go deeper, if you're willing to not play it simple, if you're willing to stop skimming the surface in your life and go all the way down to the bottom of your ocean and understand how far deep you truly are. What do you truly love right now? What do you truly hate right now? The Knight of Cups is the kind of being that's going to be asking those questions and going all the way down into the heart of certain matters in his life. And then he's meant to come all the way back up to the surface of the water and to share what he is given to the world. One of the problems of Knight of Cups is that he's kind of a little bit dreamy. He's kind of aloof. He's not necessarily totally socially present in the ways that everyone else is. He's often feeling everything. They're very, very empathic. All of the Cups characters, which is the element of water, these are very empathic beings. So you, in your own way, must come to terms with your extreme empathic nature. Also, in your just natural ability to go farther and to notice more, to read more, to feel more, which is also why people with big Cups energy get beaten up a lot in life, just emotionally. And that's because you just have a lot of emotional energy. And the Knight of Cups' primary strength in this world is his emotions. And so whether you're actually, there you go, I see your comment as well, very empathic. Whether you are fully in tune with your emotional body or whether you are kind of cut off from your emotional body, the Knight of Cups could have both. You may have a lot of emotional trauma or be dealing with certain emotions that have not been fully released, as I start drooling on myself, that have not been fully released from his being. In other cases, he hasn't really truly understood like how he actually feels about certain things. And so anyway, going back to what do we do? What do you do with the Knight of Cups, KM? This is a time for self-exploration, for understanding and being shameless about expressing what you truly love and what you truly hate. It's also from a healing perspective. If you're wondering, is there something I'm supposed to heal right now? It's your emotions, the emotional body, and the emotional journeys or emotional cycles that you constantly keep yourself on. And it's not always a turbulent one, although let's be real, the Knight of Cups does have a turbulent ocean underneath him. Anyway, I'm going on a crazy rant about your Knight of Cups, Cam. And so express your emotions, go farther and deeper than you've been going recently. There's a lot more of something available to you. Anyway, watch out, I'll keep ranting on it. Anyway, he's moving and on a mission. I have such a hard time with the L's in your screen name, but La Love a Girl. You have an ability to read cards. You're definitely picking up, or you probably already know this stuff. You definitely have an ability to kind of read these energies in the same way. And so thanks for showing up. Thanks for rolling through. Appreciate you guys. Thank you, Soul Schooling. I appreciate you. What's up, Priestess Mary Birdsong? I appreciate you rolling through, bringing some positive energy in. Where I will admit it, you guys, I'm definitely feeling the sort of nutritional deficit. I'm feeling like the crazy kind of dryness and kind of foamy buildup and weird brain fog. I'm getting a little bit of a weird headache on the left side of my head. I'm not really complaining though. To be totally honest with you, it's totally okay. We've been through these processes before, but anyway, thank you guys for hanging out here today. If you have not subscribed to this channel yet, please do so. If you really want to help us out, you can please press the like button, add a comment later on, share this video. And honestly, thank you for doing that, because I have been noticing and our numbers are going up a lot. Who knows? We might actually get to 10,000 subscribers by next year. Not that it really matters that much. It's just a thing where, you know, we're just trying to make it happen. It's always good. So you're helping us reach more people. And so thank you for being a part of this weird live stream today. I'm going to go chug a bunch of lemonade, and hopefully we're going to be seeing a few of you guys. I know at least a few of you guys are going to be rolling in this Saturday. Oh, cool. Thank you, Cassandra. Thanks, you guys. Cassandra and Liz, our mods, love you guys. Really good with the links. Appreciate it. You guys can find us here. We're going to be rolling Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern with Annora. And then we are going to be doing another live show, another interview show. I think it's next Saturday. Next Saturday being the 20-something. I'm not sure what day that is, but next Saturday at 6 p.m. we're going to be doing another show. And who knows, maybe we'll do some more lives in the meantime. It's a good time of year to do it. And anyway, it's fun to hang out with you guys. I'm feeling the mania rolling in. We love you guys. I'm going to roll out of here. Look, it's right at 2 hours. Okay, you guys, we'll see you on Saturday. And if we don't see you Saturday, we'll see you in 2 weeks. In the meantime, stay safe. And yeah, live from the School of Multidimensional Intuition. We're in extreme malnourishment mode. We'll see you later. Stay out of trouble.